Give me a bigger story this weekend, Dianna, than the Chiefs losing.
The Philadelphia Eagles beating the Detroit Lions, despite the fact that they seem to just produce during dysfunction. There's so many stories about what's going on there, and they don't care. Their defense stepped up, and I would argue that what they're doing right now, they could win the Super Bowl. Despite the fact that the offense is still not even that good, if the defense is able to play the way they did against the Lions, who I think we can all agree a very good NFC team, I think we're going to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl again.
Oh, but not without Lane Johnson. They're 12-23 when he doesn't start. And you told us last week he's their most important player.
They'll get to he'll probably miss the regular season, but they'll get to the playoffs. If you look at around all the NFC teams, Philly to me is the least one I'm concerned about where they play. Like they travel well. They're fine. Whereas obviously the Lions, Jared Goff needs to play indoors, right? He's better indoors because what we saw on Sunday night, I think we saw a lot of weaknesses there. So they're going to try to get, the first seed there. But I think for Philly, they'll be all right. But you're right. They need Lane Johnson. They need a healthy offensive line. They need a better run game. That entire offense needs to improve. And I reported recently that there's definitely players on the offensive side of the ball that are really frustrated with the way this offense looks. And this is not just A.J. Brown, right? A.J. Brown's been the most vocal. But I think this entire team wants to see this offense be a little bit more dynamic than it's been.
Can you explain to us the Bills of the last month? Like how and why does all of that happen? And if the Bills don't win that conference this year, when are they going to win that conference?
Yeah, I don't know. But if they're able to do what they just did, they're going to be okay. Which obviously, what do we always say about Buffalo? It's on the shoulders of Josh Allen. And I think we've all kind of been annoyed by it, or at least run out of patience with it, because it can't always be on his shoulders. Because look, they're not in the Super Bowl. But we're back to the same point we're at every year with the Bills, which is Josh Allen is doing incredible things. He's making it work. The defense is playing fine. And he still doesn't have a lot of help. I mean, the fact that they were able to beat the Bucs, to me, tells me that they're way more dangerous than I think that we were expecting them to be this season, because I thought this was going to be a down year for the Bills.
But how do you explain the specifics of what I just asked you, which is they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Then they lose to the Dolphins, can't get much of anything going offensively, and then they go back home and they beat Tampa, and they beat Tampa in a way that the quarterback has a performance that you've never seen before from a quarterback. And is that just home and road? Like, what is that?
I think it's just home and road. We know that they're great at home. That's for sure. I can tell you from talking to people in that building that morning, they were nervous about that game, Buffalo. Right? Because I think they think of themselves the way you just described, which is pretty up and down, right? They haven't been able to just grab hold of this thing and stand out consistently this season. But I think I kind of think that this has been the theme of this year, right? Where usually this time this year, what are we saying to each other? All right, Patrick's going to probably be in the Super Bowl again. Jalen probably, we'll throw one or two that could possibly be in there. And Josh Allen's usually in there too with the Bills. This year, we could argue any 12 teams, 10 teams could be in there, right? The Colts are making a case. The Rams are making a case. The Seahawks still are going to be very good despite the fact that they lost to the Rams. There's still a lot of unknown of who's truly incredible. The New England Patriots, could they be the ones playing in the Super Bowl? Like right now, I think the New England Patriots are a better team than the Buffalo Bills. We'll see if that changes, because they've got some losses on defense right now in New England. But I just don't think it's as clear as it usually is this time of year.
Dianna, did Belichick have any shot at that Giants job?
No. It's so interesting because I was talking to people in New York on Friday, and I was going to report on Saturday that, the Giants have so much respect for the New York Giants. The Giants have so much respect for Bill Belichick, but they really have never considered him in the past. And they're not going to consider him in the future. That is just not something that they want to do moving forward. And then Bill out of nowhere puts out that statement like, yeah, I have no interest in the Giants. I don't know who was saying it at that point. I don't know if that was Jordan reading social or what, but Yeah, the Giants have no interest in Bill Belichick. And I don't know of an NFL team that has Bill Belichick on their list as a potential candidate for an NFL job.
When you look at the surprise teams in the league, like the Panthers and the Jaguars, what's the borderline playoff team that you're sold on, that you think might actually be in the playoffs and win a playoff game?
Yeah, that can actually not turn into a pumpkin.
Yes.
I'm going to eat this one. It's the Texans.
Really?
Right?
Wow.
I think they're finding themselves at the right time. It seemed like there was way too much change initially, right? You had a new play caller, you had new players on the offensive line, all the excuses in the world. And I hate to say it, but they needed a little time to figure out what they want to be. And they're figuring that out. Now, that being said, it is interesting right now that this is Davis Mills, right? The backup quarterback who's helping this offense look better, who's helping them look good. So I am I mean, look, they're going to CJ when CJ
Their
Stroud
defense is great. Their defense is great.
Isn't that the theme of this season right now, right? Look at Denver. Denver's not winning that game if their defense isn't what it is against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't beating the Lions without their defense. So if you can rely on that, the Steelers have been victims to that. If your defense can help and carry you, you can win some of these games. This is what Minnesota was hoping for as well, right? Like they thought, all right, we got this young quarterback who needs a little time, but we'll keep it simple. We've got a great defense. We'll get by. 5 games in, and it's not 5 games in with JJ, and it's not good.
Dianna,
Yes.
on August 27th, I outlined the Shedeur plan. I said, look, here's what's going to happen. Flacco's going to start. He's going to be terrible. He's going to get out of there. Then they're going to give it to Dylan Gabriel. He's going to stink. And then Shedeur's going to get it because people are going to be clamoring for him to save the day. Now, here's what happened. In the first half of that game, they were actually chanting, we want Shedeur, because Dylan Gabriel was playing so poorly. But then he got concussed, and actually Shedeur gets in the game. I felt it was premature. Had Dylan Gabriel not got concussed, how much longer do you think it would have taken for the Browns to turn to Shedeur Sanders?
Long. All season. I don't know if they were trying to get him in there. We've talked about this on the show a lot, about how they feel about his ability to play the position. They've been preaching patience. He needs more time. He needs to learn how to play quarterback in the NFL. He's not there yet. And you're certainly not getting the reps that you should be getting in order for that to happen, right? Because that's the only way you can get better. Now, I don't know if Shedeur is doing what I've seen a lot of backup quarterbacks do, which is so practice ends, you take the script and you run through it again with another backup quarterback or somebody to help you out. But that's still not the same. And I think Kevin Stefanski proved his point, right? Did anyone watch that and go, they've been holding him back? No, you watched it and you went, okay, there's some talent there for sure, but he's going to need more coaching. He's going to need more reps in order for him to go out there and start. And that's okay. So I don't think the Browns' plan here is to stick with Shedeur Sanders for the rest of the year.
Roy, get ready to speed her up. But one of the more impressive.
I'm talking so fast today too.
It's not because of you. It's not because of you.
I think you're doing well.
It's not.
Excellent.
It's not a criticism of you. We're just going to speed you up at the end of the segment, like we do to get a maximized information during your limited time with us here. But one of the most impressive quarterbacking things I've seen, when we always give the quarterback credit for winning, is Tom Brady on the road going in the playoffs on the Tampa Bay Bucks through Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes. But I'm going to give you a partial list on what it is Jalen Hurts, or who it is Jalen Hurts has beaten the last 2 years. You ready for this? Because we always give the quarterbacks credit for winning, correct? It's Joe Burrow, it's Lamar Jackson, it's Dak Prescott, it's Baker Mayfield, it's Jared Goff, it's Jaden Daniels twice, it's Jordan Love 3 times, it's Matthew Stafford 3 times, it's Patrick Mahomes twice. That's crazy, Dianna.
Yeah, this is why you can't count them out. This is why the Jalen narrative is a little peculiar and also difficult to argue, because they're winning, they're beating good teams, but you have so many star players. You know what the Philadelphia Eagles are? They're the example of during free agency or even the draft when we always say they've got too many stars. How are they going to share the ball? This is what happens, right? Not everybody's happy, but you are happy when you're, spraying champagne all over each other in the locker room in San Francisco.
Dianna, will the Dolphins have the same amount of wins as the Chiefs after this week?
No.
It's not even possible.
Oh, they're on a bye after next week. Damn it.
No. But if you guys remember last week, I said that the Dolphins have a chance to win the Super Bowl. What if I turn out to be right? What if they make a deep playoff?
You're not gonna
What
be,
happened?
You're not right. You're not going to be right.
Could be.
Have some hope,
no,
man.
it can't.
You
No, it
are
can't. It can't.
negative.
It can't
He
be.
really is.
I'm a
Naysayer.
believer.
Will Daniel Jones outduel Patrick Mahomes and the Colts beat the Chiefs?
No, I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, guys, this may be, you may not agree. I actually think this Chiefs team right now is slightly better than the Chiefs team we saw last year. And they played in the playoffs. Like, they've got a good run game. They've got good receivers. They just don't have luck on their side right now, right? If you saw last year, they were winning those one-score games. They're 0 for 5 in one-score games this year. So I just think they need things to just fall their way a little bit. So in relation to the Colts, I think Patrick Mahomes, an angry Patrick Mahomes who says after the game it's all his fault, that's not going to happen again.
Is it time to call out Justin Herbert as looking like a career underachiever?
Whoa.
No.
What's he won? What's he won?
His offensive line is essentially Joey and Mikey right now. He doesn't. He's not being protected, you know. And look what this team was when everyone was healthy. We were talking about Justin Herbert finally living up to the hype. So no, I don't think he's going to be a bust. I think if anything, they're going to continue to be really good as they keep growing and building that program.
Dianna, has Justin Fields worn out his NFL welcome?
Yeah. And you say wore out your welcome. Really, I think what you're asking is Justin Fields ever going to be a starter in the league again? No. You very rarely get this many chances, right? This is his third stop. We saw him in Pittsburgh a little bit. Look, he's a good person. He's a great teammate from everything I know. Unfortunately, we saw what the New York Jets did, and then they decided Tyrod Taylor is going to take over moving forward. This is a team that's got a gazillion picks over the next 2 years. They're going to be in the quarterback market, and unfortunately, Woody Johnson just spent a lot of money on both Aaron Rodgers and another $40 million on Justin Fields, who probably won't be a New York Jet.
How do you feel about the death of the U.S. penny?
What happened to it?
They're not making it anymore.
They're just tired?
Penny's dead.
Like they're just like, we don't care about you anymore?
Yep. Costs too much to produce. Pennies still in rotation will be fair trade. You can still use the pennies you have, but they're no longer making new pennies. Big story.
Wow. So we're going to have to just recycle the same one. So now, actually, I'd argue the value of the penny is worth a lot more. Because now if I see one, I'm going to make sure that I keep them.
Right.
Okay. I don't really like that excuse. It's too expensive to make. There's a little irony in there, no?
Yeah, supposedly it costs like 3.7 cents to make a penny.
So find 4 pennies and you'll be good.
All right, very good. Darnold, Dianna, what did Sam Darnold's performance mean on Sunday?
That I think we still are questioning whether or not he can handle the pressure, right? They won 14 games with him last year and he turned into a pumpkin in the end there. I think this was a good test for him, and we were all hoping that maybe, just maybe, it's not necessarily about it's not the throws that Sam Darnold makes, it's the ones he doesn't in these situations. I think that makes you wonder. And I think that's what we saw against the Rams. And that defense figured him out. They knew how to put him in these positions. So I think he's just got to keep proving that he can get over that hump.